6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey everybody.
How's it going?
Good. Me and Sandy are here.
Yes.
It's going well. I have a Kohberger, or not a Kohberger. I'm going to talk about Kohberger. No, I have a Valo hangover, man.
Oh, I
Got
know.
a trial hangover. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I was tired.
In fact, I could not make myself watch Karen Read today.
Mm-mm.
I saw stuff come up that looked interesting, and I'm
either.
like, I cannot. I'm too tired.
Seems like a tomorrow problem. Yeah, I hear that.
It truly does. Yeah.
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 Melissa, hello from the ER. Why are you in the ER, Melissa? That's not
Wow.
good.
Don't like that. Hey, Claudia.
Hello, Claudia.
Good to have everybody here. I wanted to tell you that I did get a link created on SoundCloud
Oh, yes.
for the entire Daybell. Oh, it came through in 2 parts. Oh, hold on. I'm going to shut my office door. These dogs are already starting.
We made a SoundCloud playlist for all of the Daybell Valo songs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Katie made that for us over on our SoundCloud.
Yeah, but the link is too long, so I'm going to see what I can do to shorten it.
Delete everything from the question mark beyond. Delete all of that, because that's just part of the search stuff and you don't need that part.
Well, I'll figure it out. Anyway,
Okay.
by the end of the show, we'll have you a link that's usable because that broke it up into 2 spots, so we don't need that. But Jess said she did watch Karen Read today. Best to go into it with a clear head. Yeah.
This one's not clear quite yet.
No. No. Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Melissa has lupus and having a flare. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, dang it. Ugh, that's the worst.
Yes.
I wanted to say that tonight is the watch party.
Yes.
So this is the video. We're going to watch Rockstar to Killer. This was a murder that happened in France that I wasn't familiar with at all.
Interesting.
Really interesting. And his victim was also famous, an actress, I believe. So we're going to just watch episode 1 today. So that'll be at 7:15. And we'll email you out the link through Patreon. Or no, sorry, through Buy Me a Coffee. So if you're not a member of our watch party, you can join by going over to truecrimesquad.com, and there's a link there for our Buy Me a Coffee account, and you can join, and it's $2 a month, super cheap. And then what happens is we send you a link, and it's like what you're seeing now, except for that it'll just be this postcard and the chat, because we can't stream it because we don't own it, obviously. So everybody watches it on their own device, and we just watch it together and chat together, and it's a ton of fun. So
It is.
that's how it works. So again, it's Rockstar to Killer on Netflix, episode 1, Just an Accident?
I'm going to guess no.
Nay. Nay, nay. Oh, Kristi said she almost watched that yesterday. I'm glad you didn't.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, so that is good. And we have some fun happening at my house. I guess it's fun.
Oh.
Scott decided that he wanted to do eggs. He wanted to do chickens this year. We haven't done chickens in like a decade. But
Yeah.
they have been hopping out of the shells. It's so wild when you have your eggs in the incubator, and our incubator's in the garage. You just check on it a couple of times a day to make sure your humidity and your heat are doing what you want, But
Mm-hmm.
the way it has almost always worked for us is you just get up one morning and there are just chicks running around in there. And it's not where you want the chicks. That's not a good spot for them. You want to protect their little legs at all costs. So you're scooping them out of there and moving them into their, next spot. And anyway, so that's what happened on Monday morning. We woke up to some chicks. So I have a little video. The fan in the incubator is loud, so I apologize, but I wanted to get to hear their little peeps. So. They're pretty sweet. And there's one more that's hatched since then that he was having a really hard time getting out of his egg yesterday. I wasn't sure if he was going to survive. But, you can't be picking them out of their shells because they will die if you do that. So we left him alone, and he actually did hatch out this morning, and he's teeny compared to the others.
Oh.
Well, there's 5 total now, but we have 24 eggs. But we candled the eggs a couple of days ago, and there's at least 4 eggs that are empty. And then you never know if they'll all get out of the egg or not. You hope, but anyway. So Scott's been calling them. He named them our kids' names.
Oh, he did?
And now a niece and a nephew. Everyone's going to get one, apparently. Not a chicken, but a name. So anyway, apparently he says Matea is kicking ass and definitely the strongest of the bunch. So
that sounds exactly correct, actually.
Mm-hmm. And the little Pip that finally got out of his egg this morning, his name is Jack.
Oh, that's funny. That is
funny. When they get bigger, we won't have any freaking clue who is who. But,
That's really cute.
So when I tell you, that Kristi's out there pecking everybody, you'll know.
Oh, no. Probably I would, though. Yeah, I would. I just sent out the watch party link through Buy Me a Coffee. It gets emailed to you, as well as if you just go to our Buy Me a Coffee, you can see it as a post. So you should be able to find it there. And I have a funny story I wanted to share.
Yeah, please do.
So I thought this is not true crime, but it is cat person applicable. It turns out some very smart 6th grader decided to do their science fair project on a very important question that many of us cat owners have, and that is, does your cat's butthole touch everything they sit on?
It's been my assumption.
Mine too.
Mm-hmm.
So this family, this kid is homeschooled, mom's a scientist, like super smarty smart. Their cats are trained to do all kinds of tricks, and one of the tricks they do is they will sit. So they got some non-toxic lipstick.
Did they ask this cat? Did they ask her first?
It was more than one cat.
Oh, dear.
No, they did not. But every cat got a little lipstick on their back end, and then they have them sit on various, like hard surfaces, soft surfaces, bedding, couches, the table, the counter, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Long-haired cats left nary a smudge anywhere they went.
Oh.
So their bumhole was being held up by hair, basically. Short-haired cats, all hard surfaces, not a smudge. Occasionally, there would be a little smudge of lipstick on soft surfaces like pillows and bedding. They said if you have a hairless cat, you are in deep shit.
I just want to know if they woke up with any of those smudges on their faces.
They did say that they used baby wipes to remove the lipstick after their little experiment.
I feel like these cats are about to sue.
Right? I think it's so funny. But these are the important questions if you are a cat owner.
Also, I really want to see this kid present this to his class and the look on his teacher's face in 6th grade.
Well, this was homeschooled, but yes, it was there's a big poster and everything. It's great. Look it up. Kristi said, just went to check if I got the email and came back to cat buttholes. I know. I'm sorry. We bring it all. Mm-hmm. I think it's very funny. Sandy is short-haired. I guess we do. So we know as she's sitting here on my desk, she is not besmirching my desk. So that is good to know.
That is good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So this experiment is so smart and so funny and hilarious that their cats are trained to sit so they could get them to sit on command so that they could, make full take full benefit of the lipstick.
Mhm.
Can you imagine the lipstick? I can, and it's hilarious.
Right. Everyone in the chat's like, thank God. I'm glad to hear this. Yeah.
So we're in pretty good shape.
Kelly said my pug likes to sit on my head when we go to bed. Nope, we're not doing that. Kelly, you might never be the same. You may be scarred for
You
life.
might not, because pugs, they're pretty naked on their back ends. Oh dear. But yeah, I just thought that was really funny and clever. And now I'm glad to know, because I have long-haired and short-haired cats. So
Yeah.
at least the majority of the surfaces in my house are actually safe.
They're mostly okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Kristi said she just may never wear lipstick again, right? I mean, now.
There's that as well. The image of, I don't know what color they used, but
Why did they tell them to pucker up?
right.
I mean,
Oh
I've
my
heard
God.
of putting lipstick on a pig, but this is next level.
It really is. And I just think about how epically offended all of my cats would be if I tried this experiment on them. They would be like, what the fuck are you doing back there, lady?
There'd be lawsuits. There would be puke in shoes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it would be on.
Now,
Yep.
Kristi says I'm imagining bright pink, right? Neon. I thought about even neon green would be funny. I don't know.
Right. I mean, like red would
Maybe
be
this is a
alarming.
new
I don't
thing.
want to see that. Yeah.
Maybe now we need cat butthole lipstick. I don't know. Someone out there
Please
could
God,
create
no.
it. It reminds me of remember those little charms that people were selling that you could hang around your cat's tail that would cover their butthole? So funny. That's actually just bringing more attention to it. But.
I wonder how long it takes for a cat to flick that off. I'm guessing not very long. Yeah.
Not very long. Yeah.
Well, I mean, thank you.
We're doing the Lord's work over here, I guess.
I guess so. Here we are. Yeah. I was in a mug group, in a pottery group today, and somebody shared a series of mugs they made that are all the back end of a cat with a little heart for their butthole. And somebody bought those. They did.
Of course they did. A few years ago, you or Kara, I can't remember which, gave me a cookie cutter that's the back end of a cat.
It was Kara.
Star for the butthole.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't make those cookies because
you were out of lipstick, or?
No, I was not.
Awful. Well, we actually do have a lot of true crime to talk about tonight.
We really do, yeah.
Let's start with the DNA for the win from the Gilgo Beach murders.
Guys, this is big news, okay? So, as we know, there are several bodies out there on Gilgo Beach. 7 of them have now been attributed potentially to Rex Heuermann, and he's been charged with those murders, and there are others coming. But the very earliest remains out there were of a young woman and a young toddler, like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And they always kind of suspected that the 2-year-old belonged to this woman.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, they have names now. So meet Tanya Denise Jackson. She was 26 years old. And her daughter, Tatiana Marie Dykes. They have been identified through genetic testing.
Wow.
They are the oldest bodies to be found on Gilgo Beach in Long Island. And authorities are not real sure that they can be attributed to Rex Heuermann. They may actually be too early for Rex Heuermann. And so it's possible that their murders were something from someone else. Let's see.
Wow.
So
that baby is so freaking cute.
She's sweet.
She is precious.
So now they know their
And Mama was a military woman.
Yes, Mama was a veteran. And their remains, at least part of their remains, were found on June 28th of 1997. And Mama was known as Peaches because she had a heart-shaped tattoo on her chest. Or a peach-shaped tattoo on her chest. More of her remains, as well as the remains of her baby, were found in April of 2011 along Ocean Parkway near Long Island's Gilgo Beach. So their remains were kind of split up into different places.
A little separate, yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, there's very little we know other than we know who they were.
Yeah.
And now there's just a lot of work to be done around what happened to them.
Yeah.
Their bodies have been linked to the Gilgo Beach serial killings because of the timing and location of where their bodies were found. But now that we know how long they've been missing, they're kind of outside the timeline of Rex Heuermann. So officials are being really careful with this discovery, and they are not really, they're not, just assuming that they are part of the Rex Heuermann group of victims, that they could in fact be something completely different. Excuse me. Tanya and Tatiana have been now laid to rest in Alabama and been given full military honors, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah.
Tanya and her baby were never actually reported missing.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. So there's not a lot that we know about what happened to them or when exactly they went missing, because they were never reported missing. But I do love that they were buried with full military honors, as they should have been. And I'm glad that they've got their names back. And that gives the police a lot to work on. Right. And Rex didn't murder anyone else with a child that we know of. You're right, Kristi. And that's always been kind of an outlier in this situation. Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. It's always been an outlier that they were like, I don't know, this was sex workers for the most part. And this gal was in the military and she had a child. So this may be something completely separate. But I am very happy that they've been laid to rest and that they have their names back. That's just a miracle of DNA.
Yeah. Right. That's a good question, Shaza. The military didn't even report her missing? But was she out of the military?
No, I think she might have been. I think that she might have already been. Let me double check this. There's not a lot. This barely came out.
Yeah.
And so there's not a ton of information yet. But she is listed as a veteran, which I think probably means that she wasn't actively enlisted at the time that she went missing.
Perhaps she wasn't. Oh, that is so sad. But I'm so glad they're at least named. But God, these cases where nobody ever reported them missing are terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, Mel says she was only in for 2 years, I think. Okay. That makes sense, that she wouldn't have been in for very long, and probably maybe didn't continue because she had a child.
Maybe so, yeah. Yeah.
Right, but now that they know who they are, they can go looking into her life and who's the father of this child and where is he?
Right.
And maybe there'll actually be some answers in that case.
Well, I hope so. They deserve justice. Wow.
They certainly do. Right, you're not a veteran until you're out. Right, and that's what I thought.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, yeah. Sad. Well, we'll keep an eye on that one.
Definitely.
A hilarious thing happened. An interview happened earlier this week or last week. These twins, their names are Bridget and Paula, and their mother was involved in a carjacking. And they were interviewed about it on the 7 News Queensland in Australia. And this is the wildest thing I've ever seen. So you guys have to watch it.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum, and he went up there, and he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run, he's got a gun." And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there, but apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?"
Because he had all blood
all over his face. And he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
And Mum distracted him to make him look the other way, and he looked the other way, and Mum ran into the bush
behind the fence. And the guy goes to her, "I'll find you and I'll shoot you." All I was thinking about when we were running, I hope he doesn't fire. Yeah, we were so blessed.
How close to him do you think you were?
Well, see, he was up there and we were past our
when you
driveway. Yeah.
How? First of all, those two couldn't be cuter.
Echolalia? What is this? That was hilarious.
They could not be cuter. How embarrassing is our accent? I love the Australian accent. I would say that.
And in stereo like that, it's awesome.
That's impressive, man. Right? Shannon said twin telepathy? They've probably done that since they were little, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Jess's husband is an identical twin. And he said, that is too much twinning for me.
That is a lot of twinning. That is. Wow.
Years ago, when I had a home daycare, when my kids were little, I did early childhood, and I had a set of twins that started with me when they were like 6 weeks old. And I had them until they were like 4. And so these babies grew up in my house. And when they were tiny, the twin language was wild. Even when they were like really little, they would like call in response to each other. And then when they were a little bit bigger, like 18 months-ish or so, not really quite talking yet, but getting there, I'd put them in high chairs next to each other. And they would have full-on chats while they ate their lunch and laugh their heads off. And I had no idea what they were saying. It was the funniest thing. Yeah, I kind of get this because I've seen it. Yep. Yeah. But had to share. So luckily everything was okay. It sounded like it was a bit of a terrifying experience from the carjacker, but everyone was okay.
Yeah. That is good, but also scary. Wow.
Yeah. Very scary, but I thought those two were cute as hell and just had to share that with you guys. Right? Way cooler than the double mint twins, right? I'll take these two over the double mint twins any day.
Jennifer says we have Jedward in Ireland. They are a lot. Oh, that okay. And they do that too and talk in tandem like that. That's very interesting.
Kristi said she had triplets in her class once. And when she asked which one is named Ethan, they all said, me. Oh, no. No, they were a boy and a girl, Ashley. The little kids I had in my center were a boy and a girl.
How funny.
At nap time, too.
Or the Shining twins, right?
I had to nap these twins in separate rooms because they would just talk to each other and laugh and giggle and carry on and never go to sleep. But yeah. So they got to be about 2, and then they started beating the shit out of each other. Then I really had to watch them because they bit each other all the time. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, the little boy beat the little girl up all the time for a while, and then she got to where she started fighting back and biting him and leaving marks, and then it settled down. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyhow, we had to talk about that. Kristi,
Yes,
there's quite a bit going on in Kohberger.
Yes, there is. Let's talk about Mr. Bushy Eyebrows right here. This guy right here.
Oh,
So,
I hate
a
that
couple
picture.
things.
Of his face? Why do we want to see
I know.
that?
I don't know. Well, because guess what? A judge has ruled that the Bushy Eyebrows testimony, remember the one of the 2 surviving roommates sort of saw him at the end of the hall and commented on his bushy eyebrows, and that is being allowed in his trial.
Okay.
So, of course, the defense attorneys, and I wonder if they'll like go in there and pluck the shit out of him now or something. I don't know, but
do eyebrows. Who dis? He's shaved.
Yeah. And Taylor, he's gonna. Oh no, be like this is gonna be like Robert Tejas, isn't it? So Ann Taylor, asked Judge Hippler to bar any evidence referencing bushy eyebrows because they say the roommate's description is unreliable and irrelevant to the case. I take a look at those eyebrows and I really wonder how that is. That's really the only thing they could see of him was his eyebrows.
Anne, are you joshing on me? Yeah. Are you seriously for real right now that that's irrelevant to the case?
Well, in her mind, everything is. So the roommate told the police that she saw someone wearing black clothing and a ski mask inside the home sometime before 4:19 p.m. or a.m. On the day of the killings. Part of the problem is, remember, these kids were pretty drunk. They'd all been out drinking and they came back to the house. She was intoxicated at the time. She couldn't remember any other facial characteristics. Well, ski mask. But that the intruder's bushy eyebrows stood out in her memory. And if you look at him, his eyebrows are kind of bushy, but he also has a pretty big brow ridge. And so they look darker than they probably are. I can see why if someone was wearing a ski mask and that's all you could see is like eye holes with those big eyebrows and that eyebrow ridge, I think you can see why that is something that could stand out. But I'm super curious now to see if like he goes eyebrowless or something. I think it'll be really
He shows up to his trial with no eyebrows at all.
Bald. I think that might be kind of funny.
Or Anne shows up, with his court clothes and she's like, all right, hold still. We got to do something. And she just starts plucking for hell.
Right? I know. I think it's really interesting.
Or wax. Probably wax. Yeah.
Yeah. So they said that it's not fair because she couldn't give enough detail to do a composite sketch. Well, they could do a composite sketch of a guy wearing a ski mask with big eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? But the judge was like, no. She said, and also, that they can call into question. Again, this is Ann Taylor trying to prosecute the case before prosecuting the case. They can check, they can cross-examine on credibility with this witness. The judge said there is a large gulf between finding that a witness is not competent to testify about what they personally witnessed and simply allowing impeachment by vigorous cross-examination. This is a matter for cross-examination, right? So I found that pretty interesting because that was one of the things that, one of the many things that old Anne is trying to get out before trial happens.
Contentious moments, yes. Okay, now this is very funny. Kristi said, or Anne comes in with bushier eyebrows to make his look smaller. Imagine this. Anne, the other defense attorney, their investigator, their para, they all come in with like comically big eyebrows. So when she gets the witness on the stand, she's like, do I have bushy eyebrows? Does she have bushy eyebrows? Do they have bushy eyebrows? Do members of the jury have bushy eyebrows?
Oh my God. Can you pick these bushy eyebrows out in a lineup? And they line them all up and Kohberger's got his shaved off.
Oh God.
Because that is one Amazon click away, a whole bunch of real bushy eyebrows. The stick-on kind.
You
betcha.
betcha.
My God, that's hilarious. Right. And they can question her further, definitely in the cross-examination. And do you remember, how can you be sure that these are the eyebrows you saw that night? And how much had you had to drink? And all those questions, those are all going to come up, but it will be allowed to be presented at the trial. Right now, Ann Taylor is still working to attack as much evidence to keep out of the trial as possible. It's not working very well for her, I have to say. This judge regularly is like, that's just going to be something you can deal with in cross over and over again. But she's trying to keep anything out she can, which of course it's her job.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
But the other thing is they're trying to say Kohberger has autism.
Yes.
And that should be, I don't know, some kind of excuse. So Hitler was like, are you motherfucking kidding me, people?
I'm loving Hitler. I can't wait
I
for
am
trial just to see a little more of him. He's been great. I loved Judge too, but
Yes, he has done really well.
yeah.
They wanted to tell the jury that he has autism because this kills me.
Mm-hmm.
It could explain any odd behavior while he sits at the defense table.
Oh.
You know, there's already been this big fight about not being able to use the term psychopath in the trial. And the prosecutor has already said, we're not even going to present that. Like, what are you talking about? But no.
Well, and they tried to get the death penalty off the table by
based
claiming
on
that he's autistic. Yeah.
said autism. The problem is Kohberger is a psychopath and he does not experience regular human emotions. And so he comes off as pretty off-putting, and they're trying to say that is because of autism. Give me a break. Okay. Let's just, no. Now it could potentially come up if he testifies in his own defense. That is something that could potentially be asked or discussed if he decides to take the stand. Now, I highly doubt he will if it's up to Ann Taylor. Ego-wise, he's going to want to, because, know, he has figured he was smarter than the whole world in this case anyway. But they have said no, that there will be no notification to the jury. Just in case you're wondering, and he seems weird, it's because he has autism. First of all, does he have autism?
Well, right. This is something that just came out of Ann Taylor's mouth like a couple of months ago. It's not been said before.
No, and it is not being used as a defense.
Right.
There's not a mental health defense being presented here. Therefore, they cannot present any diagnosis. Like, there's a lot of rules around that. And, I can see where they would want to use that, because it would explain away his very strange, rigid, emotionless behavior, kind of. But I think that's also shitty to do to the entire autistic community. Like,
I do too. I'm offended on their behalf. Yeah.
I am too. Like, come on. He is a psychopath. Okay. He's creepy because he's a psychopath.
Right.
Don't be trying to use another person's disability as a reason to explain away his horrific behavior. That's just gross.
Yep. Soup's gross. And these guys are bringing up the after murder selfie, that he took in the bathroom, where, guess what? His eyebrows are bananas. They're huge.
They are. Yeah.
And that was within just a few hours of the murders.
Yeah. So we shall see, but the fights rage on in Kohberger, but
oh boy, always.
The defense is not, they don't be winning at this point.
No.
Didn't he want to be in law enforcement? Oh yeah. He tried to get an internship with the police and went in and told them all about how he could teach them all about forensics and stuff as a student. Like, come on, dude. It was super ego-y, gross stuff. And they were like, this guy seems like a red flag. And they didn't take him.
Weird. Yeah. Well, speaking of people that just keep on losing, remember this mean bee right here?
That is such a great picture of her. Oh my God.
Unfortunately for Donna Adelson, there's a lot of pictures. She has a very expressive face. There's a lot of pictures of her on the internet that are very unflattering, but this one really cracked me up. So Donna's trial, was supposed to start, and then Charlie was like, wait a second, I never said we could have the same attorney. I'm not signing that. So then she had to get a new attorney. So then they had to put it off. Well, two things have happened. First of all, the state says that they have just acquired 80,000 emails that they just dumped on the defense.
Whoa.
80,000!
That's a lot of emails. Holy shit.
Are most of them, like, I looked in my own email folders and there's about 44,000 in there. Is it just email gone wild, and 99% of them have nothing to do with anything? Right.
All these mostly pills and car warranties and everything.
Nigerian princes and is it just all of that kind of stuff, or are they of substance? The state and the defense has to figure that one out. So the defense is super mad and are threatening to ask for another extension over it, which, I mean, could you blame them? That is crazy talk. Right? Is it junk? That's the question. We don't know. We just know that the state just said, oh, hey, guess what? We just got these. Here you go. So
That is complete insanity. I would have a fucking heart attack if somebody dropped 80,000 emails on me. Wow.
But Donna's attorneys have decided that they don't want this judge anymore. So they made a motion to disqualify the judge, and it was denied. So she's still set to go to trial on June 3rd, but again, seriously questioning what's going to happen here, considering. But yeah, so they denied the motion based on insufficient evidence, but they don't want this judge anymore. But it sounds like they're probably going to be stuck with him.
I mean, yeah, you don't actually just get to say that. Like, you've got to have reasons.
I don't know why they don't like the judge. I tried to find that, find more information about all the filing, and all I can find about it is that it was denied due to lack of sufficient evidence.
Is this just more delay tactics?
I think probably, yeah. Yeah.
That picture is absolutely priceless.
Mm-hmm. She does kind of look like a Muppet. Yeah.
She does.
Agree. There's that one where her face is all screwed up. That's really funny too. But oh, Donna, I just have absolutely no sympathy for you at all. 0%. Yeah. Prison has aged her big time, hasn't it? Or, well, jail, not prison, but jail, yeah.
I mean, she's kind of like Lori. No Botox, no filler, no fancy highlights.
She's
no
not
good
in the
skin
fancy,
cream.
yeah. She's not in the fancy white lady jail, remember?
She's not. And will
She's
never
just-
go there because she's charged with murder.
It's the murders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, conspiracy to commit murder, just like Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sucks to suck, Donna, per normal. Let's see. Talk to us about Scott Peterson.
Speaking of sucks to suck, I found the worst picture I could of him. There's all these pictures out there of him in a suit, looking all nice. I'm like, no. Fuck you, Scott Peterson.
That's the worst picture.
It pisses me off. There's all these pictures of him like looking pretty handsome and looking pretty nice in his suits and shit. And I'm like, no. No. Okay, so Scott Peterson's, they're going through, retrial now. I cannot fucking believe this is happening. I know you all feel the same way.
Yeah.
But they say they have bombshell evidence.
Bombshell, you say? Oh.
I know this is going to come as a big surprise, but it's that fucking robbery that happened across the street.
Still? That's
Still.
the bombshell evidence?
That's the bombshell evidence. We have seen this. This came out in his trial. Like, what are you talking about? But apparently they say they have a witness that heard Lacey confronting two men who were burglarizing a neighbor's house.
Oh.
Remember the van that was at the neighbor's house and the neighbors were out of town and there may or may not have been a burglary there. And remember all that?
Mm-hmm.
That is what they're trying to say is their bombshell evidence, is that they now have this long in the past, they have someone who didn't come forward in the first trial who says they heard her confronting those burglars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? That's not
sure
bombshell anything. This is the same song, same shit, different year.
Yep.
He and his lawyers are confident that his conviction will be overturned based on new evidence. They say it undermines the prosecution's entire circumstantial evidence. Oh, please. Case against petitioner. The thing is, the timeline doesn't fit with that burglary. We've seen it. We've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
Timeline does not match. So, this had been argued in the past that she was killed after she witnessed two men breaking into their neighbor's house while she was walking their dog. Except that the evidence around when that van was parked there and stuff, wrong dates.
Right. Yeah.
They're trying to say that this evidence shows that she was alive when he left the home. Because remember, he went fishing, remember?
Yes.
Out in the harbor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was looking for fish, not dumping his wife's body or anything. So remember, there was also a mattress in the back of the van that might have had bloodstains on it. That did not get in. So anyway, this is their bombshell evidence. I say, fuck off, Scott Peterson. We never want to look at your disgusting face again. I just don't believe it. I don't believe for 1 second that he did anything but murder his pregnant wife.
And to pretend like that's new information.
Yeah, is a bunch of bullshit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's happening in the bombshell evidence of Scott Peterson.
Scott Peterson, to your eternal shame.
Right. He went fishing where their bodies were found. Are you kidding me? Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not idiots, okay? The fact that this dude is still fighting and still this arrogant. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Marta, thanks for saying it. That was the next thing I was bringing up. She said, please, please, please cover the Kouri Richins trial. Oh, we will. We're all over Kouri Richins. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is a Utah case. We hit those Utah cases hard.
Yeah. So remember how we were just saying that they have extended her trial? It should be happening right now because they had her team is trying to move the trial out of Summit County and into Salt Lake County, right? Well, that's been denied. The judge said no. They had already sent out 1,500 juror questionnaires and had already had 1,000 come back. And he says he's absolutely confident that they can find a fair jury in Summit.
Wow.
So they asked for, so they asked for an extension on the trial so that they can file an appeal on that because they are still really fighting to move it to Salt Lake County. But the judge is trying really hard to not do that, which surprises me a lot. Honestly, I pretty much figured he would because it's not that far. And we're talking about a county of, I think, 40,000 people versus a county of over 1 million. There's just, the comparison is too great, of a much larger potential jury pool. But at any rate, that's what's going on. So we are still just sitting in limbo now, kind of waiting to hear what's going to happen. But, we'll see. I don't think that this is going to be delayed that long. The judge really wants to get rolling.
Good. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
It's time. There's been a lot of delay in that case.
Right. If they could find jurors for Karen Reed, surely they can find jurors for Richens. Well, just from the 1,000 jury questionnaires that came back, the judge was confident that they can find a jury. So.
Oh, did she cry in the last hearing? She's got a lot of crocodile tears. She's a real Lori Vallow when it comes to, putting on the sad face every once in a while.
Yeah, but she's also like Lori that
doesn't look like she gives a shit.
Yeah, she usually looks mad as hell. Yeah. Also in Utah, we've said many times Utah is not okay. And I'll tell you what now. This might take the cake right now, except for there's a couple new sexual assault cases by teachers. We'll get to that at a later date. Boy, that just keeps rolling out of Utah right now. This is a little different. Unfortunately, a man, his name is Ryan Gaines, and he has been arrested for investigation to causing property damage in St. George, Utah. So in southern Utah. And unfortunately, Ryan, he was only wearing a mask, goggles, and underpants at the time that he beat up on a van belonging to Homeland Security.
Oh, honey, no. This is very bad. Drugs are bad, my friend. No.
Soup's bad. Yeah, but just, underwear, a mask, and some goggles. And he scratched down the side of it and busted up the mirrors and a couple of things. So, yeah, he's charged. So, hopefully he can kind of get it together right now, Ryan. I don't know what led you to this place. Time to kind of dial it in. Yeah.
Maybe it's just how goddamn hot it is down there and you need to go somewhere where it's a little cooler. You can chill out a little bit, lay off the drugs, because this is not good, my friend.
It's not good. It's not good at all. Nope. Mm-mm. Right? At least you had eyewear. Safety first, correct? Yes.
Katie sent me this article, and I read the headline twice because I could. The first time, it looked like he was wearing underpants as goggles. I was like, "What? Oh, goggles and underpants. Got it. Okay."
Underpants as goggles.
I mean, we've been covering crime for a long time, and I would not even be surprised to see it.
It could be. It could totally be.
I mean, let's just be honest. At least he had on underpants, friends. At least he had them on.
Right. I mean, he was trying.
There's a whole lot of naked crime going out there in the world. Ain't nobody want to see that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm aware of. Yeah.
Now, I do have a Florida man daily double.
Ooh.
It's actually a Florida man and a Florida ma'am.
Oh, boy.
A Florida man, we have covered this guy before. And it's been a while. And by God, he has done time. He's out and he has done it again. So let me get his picture pulled up. I don't know what. He's going to get to like 3 strikes and you're out or something. What the hell? So it's this feller right here.
Oh, boy. He looks like he and I went to the same camping trip this weekend.
So he's been, when I tell you what he did, Kristi, you're going to be like, I remember this guy. I remember this case. Some of you might too. He was arrested a few days ago for impersonating a police officer and trying to pull over another vehicle.
Oh, no.
His name is Albert Dolan. Okay. And he had a vehicle that had amber flashing lights. And he pulled a car over. The driver thought he was an unmarked police vehicle, so he pulled over. And Dolan walked up to the driver's side and asked for his driver's license. And the driver was kind of immediately like, wait a second, is this dude a cop? So he said, why? And Dolan told him he was speeding and he needs to see his license. So this guy's like, yeah, I think I'm going to need you to see your ID and your badge number before I'm doing anything.
Wise.
And Dolan refused to. This in the article cracks me up. The article said Dolan refused to show his ID or badge and then let him go. Let him go? Well, he had no authority to keep him. So I'm going to let you off with a warning, son.
The next time a fake police officer, pull you over, you will do what I say.
Right. So the driver calls 911 and was quick enough to get the license plate number off of the car. So he calls 911 and is like, hey, now, this guy just pulled me over. And I'm pretty sure he's not a cop. And they were like, yeah, definitely not a cop. So the cops pull him over. And the first thing he says when they walk up to the window is, I didn't impersonate a police officer. So...
You, sir, are innocent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, buddy. I mean, that is absolutely the worst way to answer that question. Even if you didn't answer it. Ask it. Like,
they were like, why are you saying that? Okay. So here's the thing. He's already been arrested for doing this 3 other times.
God, what is he trying to do with this plan?
I don't know. So he has a history, the sheriff's office says, of buying former police vehicles with lights and sirens still attached. First of all, why are the lights and sirens still attached? For Christ's sake, take them off. That's where we get these weirdos from.
Requirement? What the hell?
I would think it should be. So in September 2017, he was accused of posing as a police officer and driving with red and blue lights activated on a black Dodge Charger so that he could speed through busy intersections.
This is also you can run red lights, buddy. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
In January 2018, while he was out on bond from the 2017 incident, he was arrested in Orlando by charges of what? Impersonating a law enforcement officer. So,
First of all, if you don't buy the uniform that goes with the car, you're doing this all wrong.
so maybe you need to loan him your hat. I don't know. So, Dolan,
Yeah, here you
I'm
go,
guessing
buddy.
you're going
It's-
back to the slammer because you have
He
to
needs
stop doing
this right
that.
here. Yeah, you do. Oh my God. Talk about dumb criminal. Are you
I mean,
crazy?
Right, he's a terrible criminal. But this
He
is
is.
how serial killers get women alone.
Yes, it is. It's very
I mean,
scary.
that was in the 80s. That was a tactic, and there was all the gals were warned. Make sure that
Yeah.
someone pulls you over is actually a cop. There's even been conversations about if you're getting pulled over and you don't feel safe, you should drive towards the police station and call the police and tell them that you're getting pulled over.
Yeah.
And you just want to make sure that this is actually an officer behind you. Now,
Right.
I don't know how that will go for you. I don't know if that is just going to piss somebody off and get you in more trouble. But that was an admonition that was made once upon a time because of serial killers doing this very thing. Now, it doesn't appear that he's actually hurt anybody. He just harasses people and obviously uses it to, speed through intersections and things like that. But, right, Ted Bundy tried that. Yeah. Yeah. Did I ever tell you guys that I have a friend who picked up Ted Bundy as a hitchhiker?
Yeah.
Where we have a friend. Yeah. He picked up a man who rode with him for quite a while. They talked about all kinds of like philosophy and things like that. And at some point, Ted was ready to get out of the car and he dropped him off wherever he, was hitching a ride to. And only just like maybe a month later, Bundy was arrested and his picture was all over the news. And our friend was dumbfounded. He was like, that dude was in my car.
Yeah.
I had him with me.
How scary is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I met a woman recently who, when I told her I'm a true crime podcaster, told me that what's his name? The serial killer from here who was Paul Ezra Rhodes. When he abducted the store clerk from the convenience store that he killed, his last victim.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was his last victim. She and her friend had been in the store and had talked to her. And they had left, like gone out to have a smoke or something, and they came back in and she wasn't in the store anymore and they couldn't find her. And she said they were ringing up customers and helping people because they couldn't figure out where she had gone. And they eventually are the ones who called the police and said something happened. Our friend disappeared out of the back of the store.
Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my God.
She said, I was big and loud, and he would have never tried to touch me because I would have kicked his ass. I thought it was really funny.
The only way to
like,
be.
oh my God, you could have been his victim. And she's like, nah, I was big and loud. He wouldn't have picked me. But yeah, they like knew the girl, knew the store clerk that got abducted and like started ringing people up because there are people coming in the store and they can't find their friend and finally call the police. Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
Oof.
That is terrifying. Holy shit. Wow. Let's see. Shaza said that her husband went to school with one of the victims of Bundy. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
I knew someone years ago who swears that when Bundy was in our area, that he kidnapped her and she got away.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an unbelievably traumatized young woman. Well, she wasn't at the time. She was an older woman when I knew her, but she was very traumatized. But I met her through my work as a social worker, and she swears to me that he abducted her and that she managed to get away.
Wow.
But, he went through here. So, yikes.
And so did the Manson family.
Yikes. And now the Daybell family.
Why do we still
Bundy
live
Mormon?
here?
Yes, Bundy was Mormon. He went
Yes,
to
he
BYU.
was. Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Indeed he was. Yeah, Bundy definitely got around. Marta said her buddy got picked up by John Denver when he was hitchhiking through Idaho in 1981.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. See, that's a better story. I like that better than, Ted Bundy stories.
Yeah, for sure. Right?
We
Idaho
love
has
those
everything.
stories.
Right? We really need. Yep. Oh, Idaho.
That
That's
is
our.
absolutely true. We do have a little of everything here.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Who is Bob Berdella?
skinhead. Yeah.
Joelle said she bought earrings from Bob Berdella.
Mm,
She said, I left my hat in his shop and he came running after me to give it back to me. But I'm not sure who he is.
interesting. I am not either. Tell us who he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, the Florida Man Daily Double. Sorry, I've gotten us way off track, but we'll
yes.
come back. Oh, he was
Okay.
in Kansas City. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Yes. Here's the Daily Double. This also includes a Whataburger. Because of course it does.
What?
So this lady, oh good Lord, this happened in Georgia. Never mind. I thought it was Florida. This happened in Georgia. It's not a Daily Double, but it's okay.
Close
So
enough. It's pretty
this
close.
lady goes through the Whataburger, these people do, and they buy food, right? And then shortly thereafter, like the same day that they bought food at Whataburger, there's a fraudulent charge on their card for $400. And that charge is to the Coweta County State Court Probation Office. So they're like,
Oh no. Oh no.
what the hell is this about? So they call the sheriff's office and they're like, so why did our card get ran there for $400? Well, unfortunately, a young lady who works at Whataburger, and they were able to pick her out as the person who rang them up in the drive-thru, must have photographed their card. She took a copy of their card somehow and used it to pay her fines to probation.
Oh my God. How stupid can you be?
Yeah. And also, she's on the run. They haven't been able to find her.
Oh boy. That is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Her name is Alifa Sumter. And they are saying, if anybody happens to see Alifa, we really need to speak with her due to the fact that she did this. Oh my God.
Right?
It just predicts a probation violation, right? Seems like that's coming. Yeah, along with a few other things. So, darling, you got to quit with the criming. You're super duper bad at it. Like, this was peak terrible. I don't know why she's on probation. She's not a good crimer, though. Right? It just sounds so Florida, right? No,
really
it was
does.
Georgia. I thought it was Florida. It was
It does
Georgia.
sound so like, so you commit a crime to pay off your previous crime? I'm sorry, but that does not work. Also,
Apparently, yeah.
somebody said that we don't have serial killers in Ireland. And look up Kieran Kelly. Look up
Oh.
Robert Black. Yeah, you
Oh,
do.
no.
I'm sorry. I hate to tell you this,
Oh.
but yes, you have had serial killers in Ireland.
Maybe it's been a hot minute. Yeah.
One, Kieran Kelly was, Kieran Kelly was from, well, he died in 2001.
Oh, okay. So it's been a minute.
And
Wow.
Robert Black was more recent than that. So,
Mhm.
so there are some.
But probably not as many as we have. I'm sure that's true.
No, the U.S. has more than any other country on the planet.
Mhm.
Of course we do.
Because we have
We
everything.
also have everything here. Yeah, everything.
Erin said that her dad was a detective in King County, Washington, and worked on both the Bundy and the Green River killer cases. Wow.
How interesting.
That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, Joelle put the info on Berdella in Discord. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's what we've got. It's true. The U.S. is one of the largest countries, so per capita, we're going to have
big.
more
I mean,
bullshit
we
than
have
others.
335 million people in this country,
Yeah.
so of course we have a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have
And we
the
have 50
bullshit
states that are just kind of like 50 countries, really.
in
plus
so many
territories.
ways. Yeah. Plus territories. I saw some girl on TikTok the other day go to the mat that she cannot believe people are stupid enough to think that Hawaii is a part of the United States.
I've heard lots of people say the same thing about Puerto Rico. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
my God. Do
Yeah.
they not teach geography in school anymore? Is that
Yeah.
not a thing? That's just terrifying to me to think that Hawaii
Yep.
isn't an American state.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Puerto Rico isn't an American territory? What the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
This
my
idea
kid
that
is making
Hawaii
rounds.
is not a part of the States. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay.
Yikes. Yeah.
I don't know what
not
they're
cool.
teaching in school, but not this. I have one more story. This is out of Arkansas. This will make you want to fight. So maybe get out your punching pillows, or I don't know. Maybe we just need to go to Arkansas and get it out of the way. Because this is terrible. This lady right here, she's in some hot water. She's a school director. She is a director of a school for special needs children. And she is being accused of, and has been arrested and charged, being accused of being a ringleader of a makeshift child fight club.
What? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Her name is Mary Morrison. She's the owner and director of the Delta Institute for the Developing Brain and Engage program.
Whoa.
It's working with very specialized, it's supposed to be a very specialized school for very disabled children.
Oh my God, you are right, Kristi. Kristi says this is the episode of Giant Foreheads. Look at this.
It is. She's got a 6 head. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can. And then that other guy, the cop faker, also.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the episode of Giant Foreheads. My God. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So there's other employees that are charged. This was based on a video of them encouraging kids to fight and hurt each other.
Oh my God.
So
What in the hell?
Michael Bean, Kristen Bell, and Catherine Lipscomb are all charged as well. But one of the other teachers turned it in. She said that she is a mandated reporter, as are the rest of you. And she said, if you saw what I saw, you would be outraged. She said that she witnessed similar instances and was observed participating and talking to everyone as it's going on. The teacher.
What the hell?
Or the principal. Like, they were letting these kids line up and fight.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Yes, Joelle, they were dumb enough to video it. Thank goodness, right?
Mhm.
Aren't they all now these days? Isn't that just a thing? My
Yep.
God, why would you want to do that?
The incident in question, and it sounds like there's more coming out now, but in the incident in question, it lasted 30 minutes, and it included a teacher, Lipscomb, instructing a student to hit the other in the private area.
My God. I mean, where do
Imagine,
you have to start from to end up there?
right? Where in Arkansas? Let's see. Jonesboro.
Mm.
Yep. So I don't know where this will go from there, but that's horrifying. What the hell?
Yeah.
And I have to say, I saw a TikTok about this last night, and I was like, what? I haven't heard a word about this. So I searched it, and I found 2 news stories about it.
Wow.
So is this just going to be super quiet? But
Right?
I
Like,
can only
why are these
imagine
people
how
not on the
horrified.
national news?
Right. Well, I can only imagine how horrified people are who have children that were going to that school,
Yeah.
wondering now how
horrible.
much abuse have these kids suffered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hideous.
Well, their parents weren't there. They were at school. They trusted that the school was taking care of their kids.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Very, very disturbing. Yeah.
Oh, our kids are just not safe anymore. I don't even know.
I know. Horrific. Yep. So we'll keep an eye on that one. It's been pretty low press yet, but I'll keep an eye and see if anything else comes out from it. Yeah. Remember that Arkansas is the origin of Walmart? Truth. Yes.
You have a point.
And lastly, we talked about this briefly last night, but I wanted to just bring it up one more time because it is such big news. But Sarah Turney, many of you guys know who Sarah Turney is. She's the sister of missing Alyssa Turney. Yeah. Sarah Turney has been notified by the authorities in Arizona that a body has been found that they are comparing to Alyssa and to be prepared for some news. Wow. That's all they've told her, as far as I can find.
That is so crazy. What an experience for Sarah if they finally find her sister. God.
Now, their dad, Michael, was charged. Well, he's Sarah's dad. He was Alyssa's stepdad. He was charged with her murder, and he was acquitted. They just did not have enough evidence. There is a lot of evidence that does point to him, and he remains to be the main suspect, but he was acquitted. So, on April 20th, he started a YouTube channel to tell his side of the story. And he says...
Please, no one follow that. No one follow that man.
He says that he and Alyssa were very, very close. So, in the comments...
sexually abusing her.
Yeah. In the comments, somebody told him that there was speculation online that Alyssa's body was found. This is how he responded, verbatim. Though Arizona rarely complies with the laws or written... Okay, I'm going to start over. Though Arizona rarely complies with the laws written or humanity, I doubt it. He said...
Michael Turney.
He said the first thing authorities would do is let Sarah know so that she could get another jump in ratings for telling her fans. And then he says he hopes to learn Alyssa's fate as he's the only family member who believes she's still alive. He also says that the state of Arizona only declared her dead so that they could arrest him. My God, she's been missing for
20 years?
Yeah, I was going to say probably 2 decades, but that is gross. Yeah,
yes,
he's on
Jeopardy.
YouTube. Yeah.
No one follow him. Please don't go follow him. Don't give him any attention.
Gross. He is terrible.
Turney.
Yeah.
He is.
But
That's
follow
so
Sarah. We are all watching with bated breath. They didn't give her any kind of a timeline of when they might have an answer for her.
No.
But I so hope she can bring her sister home and bury her.
Here's the good news. Michael Turney is not actually a biological relative of Alyssa Turney. And so that information will be going to Sarah, not Michael.
Yeah, she is the next of kin. Yep. So with that, just a reminder, it is the watch party tonight, and we've gone over, so the watch party's in 4 minutes. So we have to go, but we are watching From Rockstar to Killer. So if you are a member of our Buy Me a Coffee watch party group, we've already emailed you the link, but if you want to join, you do that by going over to truecrimesquad.com, go to Buy Me a Coffee, and there's a link there to join that group. Again, this is what you'll see on the screen, not us, because we're going to be watching it along with you, but the chat will be open and we'll all just watch it together and chat. So From Rockstar to Killer, episode 1, Just an Accident on Netflix.
Awesome. Teresa said double indemnity, not double jeopardy, which I thought was so funny.
True.
Loved it.
And that's, Mel, thank you for saying that. Sarah is asking on TikTok for thoughts, prayers, good vibes, positive affirmations, that this is the moment for her. Yep.
And if you want to learn more, go follow her.
Yes. Yeah. Go follow Sarah. She's on X, I think. I know she's on TikTok. Yeah. Yep. All righty. Well, we're going to be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Getting back to our regular schedule now for a while till it's time for Brandon Boudreau to come up, because I'm pretty sure that'll be our next trial. So that's where we're at. Thanks so much for being here. This has been another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.
Season 6 6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.